Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyerboxingnews.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. It is now October 6, 2012, and there is a fight you need to know about that's happening this weekend where I think you have a very live underdog, a plus 180 underdog. What that means is that if you bet $100, you actually, if you win the bet, and it's a big if, because we're talking about an underdog, you actually get back your $100, then you get an additional $180, right? Almost tripling your money. You start with 100, you end up with 280. I think the underdog is a live underdog. It's former champion Giovanni Calderon. Right? Now understand, Calderon, in his last 3 fights, knocked out twice. In his last fight, he wins by split decision against a fighter who was 500, right? 9-9 going into the fight. So many people view Calderon, who's 37 years old, as having faded. But I'm here to tell you that the guy Calderon is fighting, Moises Fuentes, has nothing in common with Giovanni Segura, the guy who knocked out Calderon twice, or Felipe, hold on, let me get the guy's name, Felipe Rivas, right? Who lost a split decision to Calderon. Calderon is 5 feet tall, right? Giovanni Segura was able to hunt down Calderon, pin him on the ropes, and literally batter him. Segura is a smotherer. He tries to come forward. He's very offensive. He's throwing hooks to the body. He tries to literally track you down, get you up on the ropes, and finish you. Think Antonio Margarito. Now, style-wise, Calderon is a slick boxer. He wants to come in, hit you, get back outside. He wants to use lateral movement and ring generalship to move around the ring and force you to run into his punches. Calderon prefers to have a little cushion between himself and the opponent. It gives him an opportunity to be a technician. So, Segura was a bad matchup because Segura was literally able to take the air out of the ring, turn the fight into a phone booth fight, right? Take away Calderon's movement by tracking him down, pinning him on the ropes, and then forcing Calderon to fight up close, something Calderon doesn't like to do. Now, Felipe Rivas, although his record was mediocre going into the Calderon fight, Rivas had foot speed. So as Calderon moves around the ring, Rivas was able to move around the ring with him. Right? Calderon didn't have the pronounced foot speed advantage that he normally has. He has it here. Right? I'm surprised he's the underdog in the fight. Moises Fuentes is 5'7.5". He's more than half a foot taller than Calderon. He himself likes to operate from the outside, right? He's a guy who would prefer to leverage his height, box you, use height and leans to make it hard for you to hit him. But understand, that kind of fighter is not going to get inside and smother you like Giovanni Segura did, right? Nor is that kind of fighter going to be able to literally move with you around the ring, right? Fuentes just doesn't have the foot speed. Let me add another wrinkle. Giovanni Calderon is a hero in Puerto Rico. Fuentes is not Puerto Rican. He's Mexican. This fight is taking place in Puerto Rico, where Calderon is loved. The crowd is likely to be a very pro-Calderon crowd, right? And so you add everything together. An opponent, even though the opponent's favored, an opponent with slow foot speed, who doesn't have the foot speed to come up and smother Ivan Calderon, who still, as I make this video, has some of the fastest hands in boxing. By the way, it was Ivan Calderon who Freddie Roach called in to spar with his then fighter Oscar De La Hoya, because he wanted De La Hoya to face big time hand speed. And it was during that sparring session that Freddie Roach reached the conclusion that Oscar De La Hoya was a shot fighter. This was before the two men broke up, and then of course Freddie Roach would train Manny Pacquiao and would allow Pacquiao to jump 2 weight classes to face De La Hoya, because he knew Pacquiao had great hand speed, and based on the Calderon sparring session, Roach thought that Oscar De La Hoya was shot. Keep in mind, Ivan Calderon fights at around 108 pounds. He's not close in weight to Oscar De La Hoya, but Freddie Roach believed that it would be a good matchup because of Calderon's movement and hand speed. That's the kind of talent Calderon has. In my opinion, Calderon is a future Hall of Famer. So, I like Calderon in this fight, even though Calderon is the plus 180 underdog. Even though he's been knocked out twice and has a split decision win in his last 3 fights, I just think the guys who did that to him are different than this guy. I think Fuentes is not going to be able to move with Calderon, match his volume, do anything, quite frankly. I'm expecting Calderon to legitimately win a decision, and keep in mind, if it's close, the fans are going to be screaming for Calderon. That could impact the judges. I think this play is a decent underdog play. It's not every day that you have an opportunity to get a plus 180 on a future Hall of Famer, right? Let me also make another point too. Moises Fuentes doesn't have a high KO percentage. He has a KO percentage of less than 50%. Also, looking at his record, understand that 3 of his last 4 fights have ended by split decision, right? So this guy already isn't exactly the kind of boxer who overwhelms judges, right? And he's not the kind of fighter who can land one big punch and take Calderon out. So since Calderon has the foot speed advantage and is excellent defensively, I think Calderon is a live dog. I like Calderon at plus 180 in this fight. If I'm betting big money and I want to hedge, I would hedge it with Fuentes by KO, simply because I don't see Fuentes winning a decision. I hope gamblers take a look at this. It's Ivan Calderon as an underdog, plus 180. You hit this bet, you're almost tripling your money. You start with 100, you end with 280 if it hits. But remember the risk. If Calderon truly is a shot fighter, and if Fuentes comes in and outboxes Calderon over the 12 rounds, right? And pay attention to the distance of the fight, right? If that happens, you lose it all, right? You know, the knockout, you'd be covered with a hedge, right? of Fuentes by KO, you're making plus 180 if Calderon wins either by knockout, which is unlikely. Calderon's a cute type fighter, doesn't have a lot of power, or more than likely by decision. You're getting a plus 180. But you need to understand that if neither part of the hedge hits, if Fuentes is a better boxer than I think he is, and if he's able to outbox Calderon over 12 in Puerto Rico, you lose it all. I like Calderon plus 180 hedged against Fuentes by KO. You should be able to make money since the main part of the bet is on the underdog by plus 180. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com and win, lose, or draw. I hope you leave your post-fight comments here after the fight. Thanks for watching.